YouTube, what's going on, everybody? Joe Average Chase again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Today, I want to talk about why I think the best decision for every young man, it is to join the military, as early, as early as you possibly can. I, excuse me, I completely understand the timing of this video is probably horrible. I recorded this gameplay a few weeks ago, and I've had this idea typed up, in my notes on my phone for quite some time. And I was like, wow, this is an absolutely terrible time for this opinion of mine to be put out there. Now, contrary to what maybe the title says, and first instincts about reading a title like that, no, I'm not getting paid by Desert, New Jersey to do this. I cannot emphasize enough about how much I'm not, I don't roll with them boys like that, all right? For way lack of better words. I think that's a whole topic for another day, all right? So contrary to everything that's going on, with in the world right now and how kind of tumultuous times are, I still do believe that it is the best decision you can possibly make is to join the U.S. military. And, I'm going to give you guys a few reasons why. Obviously, with how things are right now in the world, I wasn't, excuse me, I wasn't in the infantry. I did 5 years in the Marine Corps. I wasn't in the infantry. That's the last thing I would absolutely ever do. I would never do a combat arms, position. I'll just be straight up, I'm gonna leave that for. I'll leave that for the guys who want to do it, or hey, it was either prison or go to the infantry. You know what I mean? So I'll give you guys a little bit of my background. Talk about where I'm from, why I decided to join. The reasons why I got out, what I did in the Marine Corps, some positive reasons, and kind of wrap it up about why I think that every young man should join the military. All right, so I graduated high school in 2017. I had absolutely zero clue what I wanted to do with my life. I was just on track to go to college because that's just what I did. That's what everybody was told to do. Go to college, do your 4 years. You don't know what you want to do with your life? No, it does not matter. Go to college. You'll figure it out. But then, my older brother, he was in college, and he was like, like graduate next semester, and he's like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life, and this was like the biggest waste of 4 years. And so I'm like, all right, we are not cooking whatsoever in life right now. So yeah, like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I went to community college. I did one semester, and I could do the work, right? But I would just be in my basement. I'm sorry if there's weird cutaways, by the way. I have this cough right now, so when I'm talking for too long, this cough will come out of nowhere. So I apologize for that if there's any weird breaks, but I'm not gonna edit these. I'm Joe Average, for a reason. And so I would be in my basement, dude. I'm talking like greatest freak out rage quitting over my pre-algebra math homework, because one, I had already taken it in high school. Did I probably have to cheat to get through it? Yeah, but I still took it. I still passed, right? And now I'm just doing the same thing, but I'm paying for it. And once again, though, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. Why am I paying to be in my basement, stressing out over doing this, this stupid pre-algebra homework? And so that's what I was doing. I worked at a grocery store. I was bagging groceries, pushing carts, and then rage quitting in my basement to, pre-algebra, y equals mx, whatever. I don't even know the full equation. And so I was doing everything that guidance counselors and society told you to do, I guess, oh, go to college and stuff. And get a degree, do your gen eds, work part-time, you'll make it eventually. And they don't even mention that, like, there wasn't a single college degree, like, title that even mattered to me, that I cared about. Like nothing interested me, bro. Criminal justice, I don't, like, what? Why do I need 4 years to know that criminals are bad guys, bro, and they need justice, right? Like, art history, business management, dude. Business management has to be the easiest thing. Like, make a business, get this money, and repeat steps 1 and 2. Nah, I'm not that stupid, but that's kind of how I see it. So, you know, that went on for a whole year. So I'm 19 years old now, right? I'm 19 years old. I said, screw school. I'm not doing it. This is not for me whatsoever. I hate it. I can't be rage quitting in my basement over why A minus B doesn't equal, like, negative B or something. And so I got into a trade. So I got a job as an apprentice electrician. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I did that for a year, and I want to get to the point of why I think joining the military is the best possible option. So I'll skim through this fast. I did that for a year, but being from the very small town that I was from, once I had that itch to, like, join the military and go do something else that none of my friends were doing, go see the world, that was always in the back of my head for the entire year that I was an electrician. And so, talking with my dad and, like, talking with recruiters and stuff, they always told me, like, dude, where you're from and where we're at right now, like, it's not going to change. You do 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, like, not much is going to change, right? People are still going to be doing the exact same thing. So the reason why that I ended up joining, why I wanted to join, was because, I felt like I would regret it. I was told, about all the experiences that you'd get, all the friends you could meet, all the places that you could go, and, like, everything that it did for your future, right? The future you is going to thank you. And that, just to make it really simple so that I can get into the reasons, the personal reasons why I think that, knowing what I know now, why you guys, why young men should join. So, I signed up. I did 5 years in the Marine Corps. I was in the Air Wings, so aviation electronics. Learned a lot. I got a lot of experience, at least for my resume. And now I'm really enjoying my life now. So I'm pretty much gonna list you guys, some of the reasons that I have written down right now, and then like, maybe make up some, like, on the spot as they come to me as well. Now, I'm not going to say what branch to join, which branch you shouldn't join. I mean, like, I joined the Marine Corps. Like, if you ask me personally, would I have changed branches? No, I wouldn't have. But also everybody knows that the Marine Corps does typically have the worst standard of life, I guess you could say. Like, for example, bro, I talked with a Marine recruiter, and I talked with an Army recruiter. And this Army recruiter, bro, he was like, yo, we have an electrician spot available in the Army. You already have, experience being an electrician, but we'll give you $50,000 to sign 4 years, go be an electrician in the Army, right, for 4 years. Bro, I looked this Army recruiter straight in the face, and I said, no, I want the title of being a Marine. And, dude, you know what I got from the Marine Corps, bro? Fucking nothing, bro. Fucking nothing. So, I mean, that's just my little bit of part, bro. That's just my little one instance of, like, damn, did I join the right branch? But all right, so this is my first reason. I have this written down on a little note and stuff, so I'm gonna read them off and kind of capitalize on each one. So my number one reason, no bullshit. So I debated if this was going to be the most important point that I had, and honestly, I think it is. Like, let's just be real with each other, right? Like, bro, we're probably gonna be replaced by AI or an Indian, all right? Like it's like 50-50 with either one, okay? I mean, you can't even get a job as a gas station attendant, right? Because old boy from New Delhi has more experience, you know, giving out Marlboro Reds and giving you 20 on 5, right? Let's like, and I mean, there's these videos out right now of like these AI tech lords like giving college commencements, whatever the fuck that word is, giving those speeches about, like what they're doing with the AI world to a bunch of kids that are like 150 grand in debt and how they're never gonna get a job. And this AI tech lord giving the speech is just like, yeah, like I know exactly what I'm saying. You guys are cooked. You're stupid for doing this anyways, right? Like here's an example, okay? I'm going to school right now, but only because of the VA bill, right? So like, if you do 4 years in the military, they pay for your school for, 4 years or however long it takes you, I guess, right? Bro, I forgot about an assignment. I found this one AI called Claude, and I had to do a 20 slide PowerPoint presentation. I downloaded Claude. It gave me something in 4 minutes, bro. Got 100% on the assignment. Like, I mean, I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm just doing it to get paid. But like, that's my point, bro. We in the next few years, we're going to reach levels of, you know, of we don't need anything human, like, to have human hands put on it almost. That's the rate that it feels like. And so I bring up that first point because, joining the military, enlisting in it, that can be job security for sure, bro. That can be hardcore job security. Like, you'll have competition because, there's only maybe X amount of spots for your job in the military across the whole, military branch that you're in. So there's a little bit of competition. So, don't just join the military thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna just do 20 years now. Like you do kind of have to hustle, but it's job security compared to somebody who is going to go to college for a business management degree and expect to do something. Like they're more than likely they're not, right? So also, I saw this one headline. I mean, I don't not even headline. Like I think it was like a Joe Rogan like clip on YouTube or something. But like Palantir, like that Antichrist Peter Thiel and Donald Trump are like homies, and like Palantir wants like the draft to come back or mandatory military service. Like I'm just, opinions aside, here's what I'm saying. Let's just say that does become a thing ever. And what America's doing in the world is extremely unpopular right now. So I'll just say that, right? So let's say that mandatory service does become like a thing, bro, they're gonna select your name and they're just gonna give you whatever they can find, right? So maybe where I'm getting at, kind of like get in now while you can, if while you can still choose, while if because it's still volunteer, right? Maybe they'll keep the VA education in there. You can get disability payment after you get out because you volunteered. You weren't, like it wasn't mandatory. So that's just one of the thoughts, right? And the reason why I want to emphasize, joining the military as young as you could, like 17, 18 years old, is that gives you a buffer in life, right? So, like me, when I graduated high school, I was 18 years old, and for 2 years, I was earning like a mediocre paycheck pushing a grocery cart and not doing much with my life trying to figure it out. At least, if you join the military, right, you can go to school while you're in there as well. They'll pay for your school while you're in the military. You don't have to wait until you get out, right? So, you can be getting a paycheck for 4 years, and you're getting that paycheck for 4 years. You're gaining military experience, whatever that may be. All I know is military experience looks great on a resume, right? And so it's a buffer. You're figuring your life out, but for 4 years, you're at least doing something positive that's building your resume up, no matter what it is, right? You could just be in the infantry for 4 years, getting a paycheck, and maybe going to school. But that 4 years doesn't matter what it is on a resume in the civilian world, bro. It's gonna look good. You did 4, 5, 6 years, in the U.S. military. It's gonna look positive on you. And then so let's say after your 4 or 5 years, you get out, right, bro? You have access to the VA home loan, right? Everybody's talking about how expensive houses are right now and everything, and which it is true, yeah. But with the VA loan, dude, you don't have to put a down payment down on a house. That makes it so much easier to get a house, bro. The house that I got, man, I didn't have to put anything down, bro. And I told the lender, the bank dude is like, yo, I got the VA loan, and he's like, let's get this going, dude. I got like no questions because I know you're gonna be good, right? And then, like I said earlier too, I started going to school. Okay, I'm going to school. I'm working full time too. I'm going to school just because it pays. It pays my entire mortgage, bro. Like that's you can't really beat that. That's awesome, right? And I mean, this video really couldn't even be made without talking about like some of the some of the experiences that you could find in the military. Bro, I have buddies that they're God damn it, sorry guys. All right, sorry, had to get some water, man. I was dying right there. I had some buddies, like they got stationed in Japan for their first duty station, bro. And the things they say about Japan, like I went to Japan, but only after I got out of the Marine Corps, right, bro? Japan, it's the greatest country on earth, bro. Like, I mean, I'll be straight up, like I'll be straight up. I know where I live and stuff, bro. But Japan is amazing. Okay, I had buddies that got stationed in Japan, and they elect to change their entire job. They don't really care what it is. It's just so they can do 4 more years in Japan, right? I got buddies, they're stationed in Hawaii, bro. They're stationed in Hawaii for 4 years, getting a tan, seeing volcanoes, and like marching like once a week, bro. And like for me, like California too. I mean, that was pretty dope. And that's just some places off the top of my head that you can go when you're in the Marines, bro. Like the Army or Air Force and all that. It's like you can be stationed in Germany or Italy or Spain, England. Like you can go everywhere. Korea, right? So there's so many options that you can do. And for 4 years, bro, yeah, like I said, man, for 4 years, you can just be figuring your life out while still getting a paycheck and having military service accrue in your life. And you could be in Korea, dude. You could be in Italy. You could be in Hawaii, bro, Japan for 4 years. Just imagine that, bro. You're, instead of being in your hometown trying to figure your life out, how to pay for college, and you're pushing grocery carts at Dollar General, bro, you could be getting paid to live in Japan and work on airplanes or something, bro. Like the fact that military service is so like hidden, I guess, from you when you're a teenager in high school, it's insane. I knew so many guys. I mean, I was one of them. I was 20. I turned 21 in boot camp, bro. I had so many friends that were like, yeah, like, I joined at 21, 22, 23 or something like that, right? Now, don't get me wrong. You don't want to be one of those guys, that's like 24, 25, 26 years old, like just joining because, like you'll get some shit along the way, right? So, join as early as you can. As for what job I would recommend, I mean, there's like that would take hours and hours and hours, right? And I only have my input from the Marine Corps, right? Like I said in the beginning too, bro, I'm fully aware of what's going on in the world. I'm not sponsored by, them boys in Desert, New Jersey. I'm not with that whatsoever. So what I would say is in today's world, I would do anything besides like a combat arms type of job, right? And in all these branches, you can elect, you can choose. I'm pretty sure it's like the Army, bro. You can choose the exact job that you want, but it's also because it's so big, I know like the Marine Corps, The Marine Corps is kind of like, hey, you may sign, you may sign your name for this job, but when it comes down to it, the Marine Corps and Uncle Sam, they need what they need. So, you may be you you may be one of working on airplanes, but instead, you're Gordon Ramsay up in the kitchen making pizza. you know, so if if you do want to join, there's tons of jobs, technical jobs, administration jobs, or like, if you're a guy like, bro, I'm a grease monkey. I like working on cars, bro. There's mechanics across every single branch, right? Like the possibilities are endless, bro. Don't get hung up too much on what branch you join, except the Navy, bro. They are so gay, and imagine being gay and you're on a boat in the middle of an ocean, bro, with nothing to do. All right, like you don't want to be doing that. All right. Like I can't emphasize enough, where I'm at with myself in my life right now. I could not, and I would not be as successful as I am so far where I'm at in life without have joined the military, bro. It gave me such a good stepping stone into life. There's people, a lot of people say, like, oh, dude, I was miserable. I hated my life for 4 years while I was in, yada, yada, yada. Like, it sucked. Bro, it's not that bad, dude. It's not that bad. It's all about your mindset as well, too, Like, we would have uniform inspections, right? And I was one of those guys complaining. I'm like, bro, this is so stupid. Why do we have a uniform inspection, And I had my boss at the time, bro. He straight up said, like, bro, you are literally getting paid to go stand in this little group over here and have somebody make sure that you're just keeping your uniform clean, right? And so once I changed my mindset, shifted my mind towards like, bro, I don't have to do this stuff. I get to do this stuff, right? Like, you're living in the barracks, and it's like, oh, I don't have to clean my room because there's a room inspection. It's, bro, I'm getting paid to clean my room, so I'm not a nasty little slob, and I'm not being a little greaseball, right? It's all about how you look at it in life. And so, with that being said, that's just some of the few reasons. I feel like I didn't do a good job, didn't do it justice. But I'm just kind of starting this YouTube thing with these long form videos, guys. So, I really appreciate it if you're still listening, if you made it all the way to the end. Like, I really appreciate that, guys. Yeah, I would love to start something, doing this. So, thank you guys so much for looking at this. If you guys have any questions. Excuse me, I'm sorry. If you guys have any questions, comment down below, bro. I would love to give my input on, anything you guys got going on. So, thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, baby. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Peace.